Dated aesthetics, nude spas, and expensive prices. You've been requesting that we do this for years. It's finally time we deep dive German hotels. Welcome to Any Town, Germany. Though specifically, we are in Füssen filming an entire other series, but what we've gone ahead and done to double dip on our vacation is to select the most average, the most typical German hotel, the exact kind of place that you're going to be staying in on your visit so that we can show you around. From breakfast buffets to the nude mixed saunas and those bright red carpets, we're going to deep dive the whole experience so that you know exactly what you're getting into. The kind of things I wish I knew before I arrived. It's quite pretty.
Servus. Ich habe eine Reservierung unter Harrison. Könnten wir bitte einchecken?
Für ein Check-in ist es glaube ich noch ein bisschen früh.
Oh ja.
Check-in ist ab 15 Uhr.
Oh, kein Problem.
The breakfast is included. Start at 7 o'clock until 10:30. On the first floor you will find the restaurant. The sauna is open until 10 p.m.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think you'd want to get the sauna band already, right? Because it's about to, yeah. Could we get one of those as well?
Sure. You also will get the Füssen card, thanks which you can use all buses and trains in Füssen and in all this area for free.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, thank you so much.
So please over here and here your signature.
Oh, so it just comes with the room?
Yes.
Not bad.
Because actually each guest which stay in the Füssen have to pay the city taxes, €3 per person. And the city give each guest the Füssen card. So that's why actually.
Oh, brilliant. Very cool.
So here you are.
Thank you.
There's also information in English and in German.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for all your help.
You're welcome.
Oh. Not bad for checking in. A lot of goodies already. We'll explain them more in the room. The dissonance between the modern lobby and this alpine hut recreation is really quite cute. And so welcome to my rustic living room. Bavarians just really can't help themselves, and what better a place than right here, drinks served until midnight, for us to talk about all the different goodies and resources you get when staying at hotels all across Germany. Though there are a couple of unique ones to Füssen, we'll go over those too. Firstly, you're always going to need to pay your tourism tax, but what's kind of fun about this one in particular, so you should always ask at the reception, is when you give your 2, 3, 4 euros per person to the tourism board, by the hotel, it's mandatory, sometimes it's even per night. But here in Füssen, even better, for your money, which you usually get nothing, here you get a transit pass. That's pretty cool. We don't need ours because we already have the Deutschland ticket which covers us, but it's actually pretty cool that they give that to you. But more importantly, what I love the most are all of the maps. Local tourism boards here in Germany do a really good job of putting together magazines and maps for you to guide you around your stay. Now, we all know about pamphlets at hotels. In America, I always just associated them with tourist traps trying to get my money or local advertising for businesses. But no, here they have that, but they also have all of these absolutely fantastic free guides and resources detailing everything that you might want to know about the area. So I'm not trying to put myself out of a job here when I say this, but you should always check these guides and resources. Many a few itinerary points across my videos have come from these very guides. They're free at the counter. You should always pick them up. More places need to do this, and the photography in this one is really good. A lovely atrium. Actually, it's kind of cool. I wasn't expecting this.
Are we in the jungle?
Feels like it. 211? Ooh. And of course, in Europe, always make sure to put your key card in the key card holder. Otherwise, no lights. Don't want anybody wasting any electricity, right? It's perfect. Welcome to an incredibly typical hotel room in Bavaria. Carpets and all. I've seen this exact carpet so many times. It's a real Germanic Alps staple. If you've been here, you know. So now then, let's go ahead, before we do the full tour, let's level set our expectations, because obviously with a hotel, it's gonna vary considerably by price? Well, right here in the southern area of Bavaria, right by the mountains, next to the Altstadt of an incredibly popular town, we have paid 160 euros per night to stay at the 4-star hotel, the Leopold Park. In general, I think that's a reasonably fair price considering the location, considering that fresh mountain air, but somewhere between 140 and 180 in even more popular areas or the more popular seasons, it's pretty reasonable to get this. But before we actually get into the room, as any good German will tell you, there is one thing we have to do. Come with me to the window. It's time to Luft. And really, for those of you out there who genuinely haven't come to Germany before, don't have much experience in Europe, there is kind of a neat trick to these windows that me as a grumpy man have gotten used to, but it's pretty cool. It's not just opening, it's cracking them. Honestly, it is kind of cool. And that is what lufting is all about. Germans are notorious for making sure they get fresh air circulating all the time. The dead of winter, doesn't matter. You're gonna open your windows, you're gonna get some fresh air in. Even in business meetings, by the way. I've been in proper big corporate business meetings and they've interrupted to say, hey, it's been 30 minutes, should we crack a window? It's just ridiculous. And I'm not sure what your first reaction is gonna be, but mine is that these rooms are pretty Spartan. I think a lot of people can come here expecting a 4-star hotel for that kind of money to be very luxurious. And during breakfast, maybe when we go down to the spa, it will be, but in the rooms, yeah, this is my typical experience of a German hotel room. Maybe you can see why in so many of my videos I just don't bother filming them. They are what they are.
Distracted by the carpet.
I'm really distracted by the carpet because, like, comment below. You've come to Germany or you're about to be here. I want to know your experience. You've seen this carpet, right? We've all seen this carpet. But other than that, other than the Spartan nature, there's not really too many things that are interesting, but I've got a few. Mostly, when you come to Germany, you're gonna notice that you've got your own separate duvets, which belies the real secret of this bed and perhaps the real disappointment. Come down here with me. You'll notice the thing here on the floor, we have 2 of them, for it may look like whole, but it is not. It is 2. Germans absolutely love sleeping separately. Separate mattresses, separate duvets, you can move them around. And so what they usually do in these hotels, smash them together and wrap them up so it looks like a hole for us who are used to, sleeping together. But instead, it's not. There's this weird crack down the middle of it that's kind of uncomfortable if you're not used to it. And frankly, I'm convinced it's uncomfortable even if you are used to it. Quite strange. The furniture itself is what it is, lovingly dated and almost ornate. They always have these kind of fun carvings here in the legs. You'll see it everywhere in the desk, in the chair, and they've been here for quite a long time, maybe longer than I've been alive. Overall, it's comfortable, but it's got a kind of a strange vibe, especially with the slightly more modern things that they'll add in as things break. You end up with a little bit of a hodgepodge, if you ask me. Lastly, no hotel room tour would be complete without checking out the bathroom, and this one is more modern than I'd think. It's quite nice, actually. I don't really know how to describe a bathroom to you, but it's pretty good. What more can you want? More sink space than I need, and a bathtub and a shower. It's a bathroom. You do your business in it. So overall, is it worth it? Well, you can't exactly haggle for these sorts of things, can you? I mean, this is a standard hotel in a busy, somewhat touristy area in Bavaria, and the price is typical for what I've seen over the past couple of years. 140 to 180, this is what you're gonna get. If you see the 4 stars and you're thinking American luxury and you're expecting it in the room, maybe you're gonna be a little bit surprised. But I do think this hotel has more to offer than just somewhere to sleep, which for me as a traveler is perfect because this is just somewhere to keep my bags, at least in my opinion.
And really quick, if you're enjoying our helpful and grounded advice, don't forget that Camille and I also offer customized itinerary consultation calls. Link on screen, description box below. It's an amazing way to support the channel, plus I love getting to meet you guys at home. It is so much fun. So do really consider it, give us some support, and a little bit of love.
Now we've gotten pretty lucky with this part of the video because usually you're not allowed to film in the sauna, yet it's a super integral part of the German hotel experience. Putting on your fluffy robes, going downstairs and being confused about whether or not you're supposed to be naked. That's how it works, and because you usually can't film it, I was worried we wouldn't be able to, of course, show you it and we'd just talk about it in the room, but no. The really nice reception lady earlier, who's a fan of the channel now, said we could show up after it's closed to show you around and talk about the incredibly confusing rules. So, let's show you a German sauna, finally! A little bit. And it wouldn't be a proper sauna experience without first being completely lost on where we're supposed to go.
When do we get naked? Who knows?
Will they tell us? Actually, you already missed your spot.
Oh.
The women's dressing room is back there. Mine's over there. Shall I meet you in front?
Yeah.
See you in a moment. Now, of course, dressing rooms are dressing rooms. I don't need to explain that to you. The showers, not so private. And that's a lovely frosted glass view of the urinals. Couldn't ask for more. We were in here earlier though, and how was it?
Confusing.
I think a lot of international guests maybe don't want to take off their swimsuit, but the Germans do, and so it's a mixed bag and you don't know who's right or wrong.
But that's how it usually is at these hotels in touristy areas.
It's super confusing. And so we have been granted exactly 5 minutes from the moment that everyone has left to when the cleaning crew will arrive, which is just enough time to walk around, give you a whistle-stop tour and explain all of the rules to the best of my ability. So every single wellness area that I've ever been to has always been organized into the following rooms. You have a main area full of showers, hot tubs, pools and saunas. This is where people are most often naked, surrounded by the ancillary rooms, the Kaltraum, the cold room, and the Ruheraum, the quiet room. Both of those places are where you can cool off and chill out after your sauna session. But really, we're here for the meat and potatoes, right? Unfortunately, this particular spa doesn't have a hot tub anymore. Can you guess where it might have been? Years ago, I really loved this place and I was actually really excited to get to do a proper naked hot tub again, but instead, it's like a nice little garden, meaning really what we have here are saunas and showers, and they're pretty good. And so at last, we finally arrive at the main event, the saunas themselves, so let's talk etiquette, because that's where all of the confusion really lies. We've been given robes and towels. The robes are for fun, the towels are for utility. Put the robes on the hook on the door before you enter a sauna. Never go into a sauna with your robe. When it comes to the towel, you're going to be able to wear it, nothing underneath, at least not usually. How most people are going to use their towels though, is to take them off, lay them down on the wood so there's no bare skin on the sauna wood itself, the sauna benches, and they're just going to lay there. And that's just going to be it, mate. Never forget that in between every sauna session, every entrance and exit, you're going to want to rinse off in between. Naturally, those are rather public too. And of course, it's worth mentioning, this is mixed. Camille and me aren't here together because it's a special quick 5 minutes. These are mixed naked saunas here in Germany. If you want, you could keep the towel around you. That's going to stop your bare skin from touching the bench, so it's all good. You can preserve your modesty if that's important to you, but do note, nobody else is going to be doing that. Not really, 1 or 2 people maybe. No one's going to care, because really that's the beauty of it though. Here in Germany, nudity isn't a big deal. Show it or don't, nobody minds. Nobody's going to pay attention to you. And that's the freeing aspect of it all. So if I were you, I'd give it a go, but no one's going to care either way. Just don't wear a swimsuit. And now that we've done the etiquette in record time, I have a few minutes to enjoy this place all to myself in peace. So if you don't mind, I'm going to put the camera down because you guys are not subscribing enough for that.
Good morning. It is time for German breakfast.
It's wild how at a breakfast buffet, it's always everyone's first time at a breakfast buffet. It goes in a basket.
Oh, maybe it is my first time at a breakfast buffet. I love German bread baskets. And let's go with orange. Ooh, so good.
Have you seen the butter machine?
I have, it scares me a little.
You gotta use the butter machine.
So we've come back from the buffet successfully and we've got our chosen German breakfast spread. Now I love German breakfast because you basically go up and choose between a bunch of rolls and stuff to put on them. As a big fan of the pick and mix, I'm a huge fan of this because what is German breakfast if not a savory pick and mix?
It's just such a weird way of putting it.
Is it not true though?
It feels like you're on the other side of a Subway counter, right? You know, like picking all your meats and cheeses.
But I'm in charge this time.
You're the sandwich artist now.
And another important part of German breakfast is muesli, which is kind of just German cereal. To the Americans out there, it's essentially just a granola bar deconstructed. But they present it in another pick and mix situation where you can choose between like oats, dried fruit. I got a ton of banana chips because I love them, so it's really tasty. But as for the bread, I am a huge fan of the savory, as I said earlier, so I got butter and cheese, and then I'm gonna try out some of the sweet spreads as well because they just look really tasty.
What I think's pretty funny, right, is we can't do a German hotel review because all the other Germans are gonna know exactly where we are. I think a lot of people think this kind of stuff is common in other parts of Germany, but it's just not. I don't think you're gonna find a Bretzel in Hamburg. You're definitely not gonna find a Weisswurst.
Well, yeah.
And pro tip for you, if you are going to get into the Bavarian fare, never eat the skin on the outside of a Weisswurst. And frankly, as a tourist, or even as a cool rustic local, never feel ashamed to just peel it with your hands. You don't want to eat the skin. And I kind of cringe every time I see somebody do. Peel your sausage, then you can eat it. It's a really good sausage though. Shame you can't try it.
I'm good.
I mean, I know it doesn't look good. It's probably the ugliest sausage in the world, but it's tasty.
Now, I am not German enough to consume like 3 bread rolls for breakfast, so my strategy is I like to cut the semmel in half and do 1 savory and 1 sweet. Butter, bread, and cheese seem super simple, but the quality of bread in Germany, especially in Bavaria, is so high, and usually there's some really tasty cheese as well, that it's just really wonderful to eat for breakfast. Especially when you get out into Oberbayern near the mountains, there is such a heavy focus on local dairy products. The cheese here is just so tasty. So let's see how it tastes. Oh yeah, that is some tasty Bavarian semmel and some delicious Allgäu cheese.
Now, I haven't really acclimated to the German breakfast quite as well as Camille has. I find the proposition of cold cuts, meats and cheeses in the morning to be a little underwhelming. I think coming from England and America, where we have very strong breakfast traditions, this is actually still quite the culture shock for me. I mean, in England, it's all like beans and sausages and it's cooked and it's heavy. And then in America, you've got all your omelets and pancakes and sugar explosions. So coming here and then paying however much money the hotel is charging for breakfast can feel a little shocking. Even up in the mountains too, if you remember. If you've been enjoying this video, by the way, last year, we went and did a mountain hut review in Austria. It was incredible, but they were charging like 16 euros for a muesli breakfast, and look, I just don't have that kind of money. I just can't be blowing it like that. And in that way, you can probably tell that I haven't acclimated very much visually, considering if you're paying attention to what I got and what I'm doing, I'm making a bacon sandwich. You can take the boy out of Britain. Can't take Britain out of the boy.
Are you always tempting people to leave hate comments on your eating habits?
This just feels more like breakfast, though it could do with some beans. Bacon sandwich.
Is the bacon good?
It's hotel bacon. That's internationally the same no matter where you go. So at the end of the day, my feelings towards the German breakfast are a bit of a mixed bag. I find it a little underwhelming, a little expensive. I'm glad it comes free with this hotel. So at the end of the day, it's all about just knowing what you're getting into and setting your expectations. Camille is well happy. I'm doing just fine, and I'm glad it came free with the hotel. So all in all, just know what you're getting into.
And so just like that, our whirlwind tour of this lovely and typical German hotel is over. And so is this video, though not yet our entire weekend. So do please go ahead and subscribe right now because you're not gonna want to miss out. Other than that, please leave a comment if you've enjoyed this kind of hotel review content. It's very different, at least it's very different to me than what we usually do. So if you want more of it, you're gonna have to let us know. So comment below your support. Give us a tip if you think we've earned it. I've already told you to subscribe, so I guess all that's left is for you to watch another one of our videos, and for me to see you in the next video, wherever that might be. Dated as that.
Ass.
Ass.
Dated.
Dated ass.